Alrighty, everybody, welcome to a very special edition of the Kino Casino. The house just can't stop winning. We're on episode 3, and already the enemies of the casino, the enemies of the house, are utterly felted. They're utterly decimated, humiliated, destroyed beyond any measure of what we thought was possible last week. No, we didn't realize that when we did the Ralph Festival and we buried Ralph dead in the ground, that it would be almost a literal burial within a week. We didn't quite realize the power that this show had. We're calling it the Kino Casino Curse.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Kino Casino Curse. Everyone, tap or type in 1 if you agree that we are cursed. Ladies and gentlemen, tap 1, type 1 in right now if we are a actual curse. Let's just start this because believe me, people are waiting for this. And by the way, we thought, okay, Friday, it's done, Ashton. What else is there to say? I'm not going to respond to every allegation or whatever he's talking. We said
did a funeral. We did a literal funeral for the guy. I did a eulogy for his burial. He's dead in the ground. We did 5 hours just destroying the man. Jesse went to his house and proved he was a cowardly little bitch that wouldn't come out and do shit, destroying his persona once and for all. It was a devastating night for Ralph. He was outdrawn in viewership nearly 3-1. In donations, I think it was 5-1 or more in terms of donations, if not 10-1. I don't even think Ralph made $200 last week on his stream.
No,
he had to move his
he
show.
Made 58 bucks. Woo-hoo-hoo. And
folks,
guys,
just to let you know, the show last week drew $2,000 in donations from you, the fans, the viewers at home, to Felt, Ethan, Ralph. Keep up the support, folks. We really appreciate it. Be sure to smash that like button now. Smash the like button. Each like is a tear from Ralph's Piglet.
Now let's get into it. So we thought it was done. In fact, Ashton, one thing we didn't even talk about before planning the show was after the show, he was planning on canceling the trip to Portugal. Tell him.
That's right. So what happened was, Diddler Dax, in his infinite wisdom, realized he would be taking a 15-hour flight. 15 hours from LA to Portugal. And so he faked breaking his ankle. He admitted to it later this week that he fucking faked breaking his ankle so he didn't have to go. Imagine this. Imagine your dick, some alcoholic redneck that you have a loose association with is like, friend, Dax, will you please come to Portugal to own this Canadian Warski with me, please? He's like, I don't even know. I have no beef in this. Like, what the f are you talking about? I'm faking an ankle injury to get out of it gracefully. That's what happened.
Well,
Ralph was...
Well, Ashton, you forgot one little thing. He had bought the ticket to Felt Me, but what happened? 30 minutes after we started the Ralph festival, like the pre-show where you have to hit set reminder, 30 minutes that was posted, his leg broke while he was walking his dog. 30 minutes? He saw the names on the marquee and we went, yikes.
Wait a minute, I'd like to still do business with Nick Ricada. I'd like to do business with Augie. I'd like to do business with Flam. That's what he realized.
He thought it was the real Medicare.
And Diddler Dax has completed the full snakening this week after the events in Portugal, put the knife in his back. But what happened? Ralph was thinking of canceling, and then what did we do? We were like, we got to get this guy to go to Portugal. So Warski tweeted out, "You're not allowed in. I'm the El Chapo of Portugal. The El Chapo, I run this country. You'll never be allowed in." So Ralph's like, that's it, motherfucker. I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going to own you, Andy. I'm gonna rape your sister, Andy. This is the shit he was saying. He was saying, he's like, now that Jesse has gone to people's houses, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to people's houses. I'm gonna own them. This is the sort of rhetoric Ralph was using. He was flying so high. He's like, I'm gonna own them. I'll teach these motherfuckers.
By the way, Ashton, so he's gonna rape my sister, head to my homeland, head to my soil. What did I say? You won't set foot on my family's soil. Well, chat, check this out. Whoops, wrong. So he flew here to Lisbon. My family is from the Azores, Terceira, 1,446 kilometers west in the middle of the ocean. Wrong. Lisbon is not the Azores. It's two different worlds there. That's like saying, I live in California, like, I'm gonna head to your hometown, and then you fly to Alaska. It's like, it's not even close. Look at that. Wrong place of the world in the world.
He goes to Lisbon, right? He's in Lisbon, and gets there, and they won't serve him because he doesn't have the vax card. He doesn't have the vaccine passport. He's going to restaurant, getting denied. So eventually, he has no choice but to settle for Burger King.
There it is.
He flew across the Atlantic Ocean, own Andy, to end up going to Burger King. Imagine you go to a European country. These European countries have some of the best cuisines in the world. This Mediterranean cuisine in Portugal is fantastic. Ooh, le chef's kiss for Portugal cuisine. And this fat, typical American the uncultured swine that he is, goes to Burger King, and he puts the cardboard crown upon his head. Fraudulent king of the 9:30 time slot. Folks, we're now the kings of the 9:30 time slot. We own it. He surrendered it last week, and as we know, spoiler alert, he won't be doing it for quite some time since he went to Portugal. This was beautiful.
Christ is Burger King. Christ is Burger King. That was made by Dick Molesterson on Twitter. I'll give credit to Dick. I died when I saw that. But when I saw this, I swear, I thought Ashton got one of his capos to Photoshop this, to send it to me. And I was like, no, wait a second. This isn't Photoshop. Whoa.
Well, you know, we thought that this would be the peak of the trip. We're like, okay, this is going to be the funniest moment. We're planning the show this week. We're like, okay, let's do like 5 minutes on the Portugal stuff.
And obviously, I bought Burger King. And by the way, I'll say Andy Worski, $14.95 for Burger King. Ethan Ralph, $1,548. Which, by the way, it's a lot more now. We'll talk about that in a second here. But I want to say that the Kiwi Farm people, there's about 2 or 3 pages of threads discussing how did Andy spend $14.95 on Burger King. I'll let you all know. I ordered from Uber Eats. I tipped the guy $3.15, and I got onion rings instead of fries. All right, and it's Canadian dollars, not American. That's why it was $14.95.
I was so surprised about the discussion because I don't think I've ever had a skip the dishes order that was less than $20. You know, like for me, they're like, how can he spend $14? That's an astronomical sum. Most of the time that this fat gets Uber Eats or Skip, it's like $40. Okay, so like, get real. How could he have spent such an outrageous sum?
Oh my God. Now I'm going to open up a video here, the video that happened right before he had left. Do you remember this?
Yes, this is a fantastic video.
And I'm going to give a big shout out to, his name is VHS Archive. Sorry, I wasn't I got hundreds of DMs this weekend, guys. So like, literally, if I didn't respond to you, like my DMs, I showed Ashton, are like, it's way too much for me to respond to everyone. So VHS_archive on Twitter, he posted this here. And I'm gonna, okay, now this kind of, in retrospect, in hindsight, as they say, is insane to watch, okay? So Ashton, I'm gonna lower the music here. Are you ready for this, Ashton?
Let's go. This is what he said about his trip in Portugal.
He said he was gonna move to Seria. I'm not a Portuguese motherfucker like him, so I may be getting it right, may not. It doesn't matter. I'm white. I'm an American. It doesn't matter. I'll say however I want, and they'll still welcome me. Their women will still render their garments at the mere sight of my American dollar. It doesn't matter what I call them. You see, it doesn't. You know.
But he acts like it's pesos they use there. You know, like yeah, make the euro, dude.
I'm I'm sorry to say, Rob, like the euro is almost worth like double the American dollar. You know, like
the American dollar. Like
he just thinks like I'm a king because I'm an American. I go where I want and I do as I please. They'll all be my slaves in Europe.
Oh my god! Like I'm white. Like pork chops are the most racist people in the entire world. By the way, when you're there, they're like, "You're not Portuguese? Whoa, get out of my country!" Like they're racist there. Okay, they were the last people to stop slavery in the world. Like one of the last. By the way. Anyway.
Whoa.
Which I disavow. You know.
So I may be getting it right, may not. It doesn't matter. I'm white. I'm an American. It doesn't matter. I'll say however I want, and they'll still welcome me. Their women will still render their garments at the mere sight of my American dollar. It doesn't matter what I call them. You see, it doesn't. You know, I'm a white man. I just show up and show the money and just do as I please, as it should be. As it should be.
Oh. That's something I would call
Okay. VHS
hold on.
With the SNES battle sounds.
It's what you call irony, isn't it? Truly irony here. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Ralph gets absolutely fucking felted. Just the shit kicked out of him. Bring it back.
You know what?
Let's see this picture.
You know what?
Let's see this
Hang
picture.
on. I have the fresh picture here. Let me as in my profile. I have the fresh. And I wrote something along the lines of. Hang on. Let me just scroll down. There's been a lot of tweeting this week. There we go. All right, Kim. Thanks, Kim. All right. Let me scroll down. Holy, there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
There he is.
Okay, so
blow this up. Blow this picture up.
Oh, it's okay. Yes. All right, it's zoomed in. I zoomed it in. All right, so let's really see what happened here. Like, first of all, Ashton, why in God's name do you think he posted this?
I can't. Who knows? Guess his need for attention is so great because nobody watches his dying and failing show. It's now canceled for like the next month, and there won't be any more kill streams. You know, he's so desperate for attention, he has to post shit like this because nobody cares otherwise. That's the only thing I can think of because. I mean, he could have just, like, waited, recovered, you know, kept the radio silent. He didn't have to show us this. He did.
I thought it was Photoshop again. I was like, there's no... What the... This was the dumbest thing a human has ever posted, especially when you're trying to own the Warski and the A-logs, you know? This is
the whole thing was to go to Portugal to own Andy. You ended up eating out of a Burger King dumpster and then getting your fucking pig slits swollen shut. I mean, look at this. They really have become just slits. The one eye, like, doesn't even exist anymore.
This is gone. This eye is gone.
It's gone.
I don't see it anymore.
You see it? Now you don't. It's gone.
Yo, by the way, the only, like, real dish he bought was sardinage, which is sardines. The worst dish you could buy there, that salted sardines, is horrific. It's disgusting. I dislike that stuff. That is the worst.
Don't forget his 4 shrimps covered in a gallon of mayonnaise.
I don't even have that picture. It's disgusting. And by the way, I've never seen that in Portugal. I've been to Azores 12 times and Lisbon 1 time. Never have I seen shrimp covered in orange mayo, ever. I don't even think that's Portuguese, to be honest with you. Is it? Yeah. Any pork chops in the chat? Let me know.
Anybody know? Does anybody even give a shit? I mean, the guy's like, it's just the worst vacation ever.
Wait. He smoked a Cuban cigar and goes, they allow you to smoke cigars and walk around? Like the world? When you're outside, he's acting like, I can smoke a cigar anywhere I want. Yeah.
Wow.
Go outside right now, Ashton, and smoke a cigar. They're not going to stop you, are they? I don't know.
Let's get into the story. So you also look at his face, like it's like sunken in too, right? It looks like he might have lost some teeth. Notice how he didn't smile even in the update photo. Some of those teeth might be gone. And I'll tell you, the ultimate twist of fate, the ultimate way that we know that this was God's plan, that God is behind the Kino Casino and against Ethan Ralph, is if Ralph develops a speech impediment. If Ralph develops a stutter or some other form of speech impediment, that will be the ultimate karmic justice. A sweet bow on top of the present. We can only hope that's in God's plan.
Like, you know, I mean, it might happen, it might not. And by the way, I know Josh from the Kiwi Farms on his show today asked, do you guys think this will humble Ralph? And then he goes, press 1 if you think it won't. Press 2 if you think it will. And everyone pressed the 1. 90% or something. Or he had a poll. 90% said it won't. Did he learn his lesson? Was he humbled? Ashton, tell us.
It was not humbled. Absolutely not. A lot of people, after they get their asses beat this viciously, would be like, man, how have I been living my life to end up in this position? Like, how much of an asshole was I? How dangerously and recklessly did I live my life to end up in this situation? And it's not like this is the only time this has happened. Like, he's constantly getting fucked up. He was in a car crash a few months ago, had a fucking heart attack. Motherfucker is just like on the verge of death every day of his life.
You said this before. He is now the protagonist in a Final Destination movie. Every day. It's scary. It must be scary for him to walk around. You see like the mop bucket and it's like zooms in on the wet floor and the signs missing. You know, there's like a live wire by the water and you're like, is this the one? Is this the thing? I don't know.
Holy shit, man. Okay, let's focus in on this story he gave us, right? So the story is Ethan Ralph was minding his own business in a dark alley and got jumped in a 4-on-1 fight. Let's read this here. So he goes...
Oh, and Sunrise Productions made a video on this. Just a shout out to Sunrise Productions. All right.
Ethan Ralph says, well, I've definitely got to experience Portugal in a way I never thought I would. What is it with me and 4-on-1 fights, LOL? Forgive my hair, but there's not a stylist on call here in the hospital. Oh, like, look at Ralph's hair at this point. Like, it's...
You think he tried spitting on his hand and doing this?
He's all alone in this hospital, right? He can probably barely lift his arms from the pain. He can't style his hair. Pantsu's not with him. Now, if he didn't want to go cheat on his fiancée, his pregnant fiancée with underage prostitutes, maybe Pantsu would have been there with him to style his fucking hair. But because he's a slimeball scumbag piece of shit that left his pregnant fiancée at home, who, by the way, was traumatized by Jesse. Traumatized by Jesse's prank. His generous gift of a box of diapers for a couple who's clearly not saved anything to take care of their child. He left her alone.
Oh, yeah, no. She was scared. Yeah, she was scared, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're scared for your life? I'm going to hop on a plane to eat sardines? Thanks. I'll read these donos in a sec. Thank you, Keepstar.
This guy is supposedly, like 30-something years old. He looks like he's 80 years old. You know?
He aged 50 years, everyone's saying. He aged 50 years. Well, let's read this part right here. Do you want to read it?
All right. As for what happened, it's a bit blurry. Some guy tried to rob me. I chased him down.
Did he?
And then fought him and his friends by myself. kept fighting well past the point that would be considered normal. Don't do this, lol. Anyway, might be delayed coming home by 1 or 2 days. I think it'll be a little bit longer than that there, buddy.
He has to add that. He has to add fighting well past the point of what's considered normal. He's like acting like he's Spider-Man. Like he's
a superhero.
He's a vigilante. Like, you know what I mean? Like his superpower is getting his ass. Look at him.
I'm Wolverine. I'm Wolverine, motherfucker. I have adamantium blood. And I get beat up, motherfucker. I keep coming. I'm like Kick-Ass. In that movie with Nicolas Cage. Kick-Ass.
They broke his fucking... What is it? The
orbital bone. It's shattered.
That only happens to like MMA fighters during like a brutal match.
Even like most MMA fighters, like they just get a fracture in their orbital bone. His orbital bone was broken. I've been talking about broken orbital bones for some time. If you've been following the PPP show, so some meme magic hit here also. He's had to go for surgery now. They're recommending at least 2 weeks in the hospital for this guy to rest up. That's 2 weeks of no kill streams on top of the week of no kill streams that already happened in Portugal. And let's face it, he's probably not going to be there for over a month. Well, think of how much revenue he's lost. A whole month of no income.
No help. But he's not paying the bill. He's not going to pay the bill. There's no way he's paying this bill for Portugal. You just never go back, right? Like, there's no way that they could, you know... I don't know. Like, I don't know how it works. But the amount of money lost on this trip is... And then he lost his $900 band purse, which we're going to actually talk about. Okay, so, by the way, everyone, we're going to all... I'm not going to even ask you all. I'm going to assume that you're all on our side and go, this story did not happen. However, what we should do is place your bets to see what you think would happen. You want to do that right now? I think it's a good time.
Yeah, I'll open the poll here in the chat, and you guys can bet either 1, 2, or 3. Why did Ralph get beat up?
All right, everyone, I'm going to mute us here, and we're going to do a place your bets. Ladies and gentlemen, get your chips ready, and we'll read donos right after and continue the show. We have a lot tonight, so here we go. All right, everyone. I fucked up that last one on the premiere there. That was number 3, obviously. Whoops. Pardon me, guys. We actually squeezed in this place your bets segment last minute, and I fucked that up. Sorry, but I don't know what. But yes, 1 is trying to solicit an underage prostitute. Number 2 was trying to buy the white powder, cocaine. And number 3 was being a loudmouth at the bar. All right. Everyone's saying 1, 2, 12. Okay, what's it? 1, 2, or 12. All right.
Right now, number 1 is leading the poll, but number 3 is, very, very close. Now they're dead even at 39%.
Whoa.
Number 2 is lagging behind at 22%. We'll give you a few more minutes before we close the poll. We'll talk this over a little bit. Option number 1, I kind of thought it might be option number 1 because him and Diddler Dax kept talking about age of consent is 14. I'm going to get all that pussy. I'm going to get prostitutes, this, that, and the other. And you got to remember, Ralph, when he said he was robbed of 150 euros. If you search on Google for Portuguese or Lisbon prostitutes, first and cheapest option that comes up is 150 euros. Coincidence? Now maybe he went to that brothel and said, hey, you have any 14-year-olds? And the pimp just snapped at the scumbag, slimy piece of shit that is Ethan Ralph, beat that motherfucker senseless. You look at those scratches under his eye, that could have been from the pimp's ring. He might have had a bunch of rings on. It could have been he tried to grope one of these prostitutes and they scratched him, and then the pimp came in and beat the shit out of him. That's a legitimate option. Option 2 is the cocaine, which I guarantee you Ralph is flying on cocaine all the time. You know, Andy knows the signs. He knew Ralph behind the scenes, and he's convinced that Ralph was on coke. So it could have been, you know, you had a dispute about the coke.
Also him on the Dick Show saying that he was walked up to 5 coke dealers, like, and talking about coke very candidly, you know. He seems pretty open about that. I don't think this is like a, you know, a trick or a secret, even to him, you know. Like, what?
Now option 3 really is like the Occam's razor option. It's really the simplest solution. It's that Ralph got drunk off his ass and mouthed off to the wrong person, and they just beat the fuck out of him. And they taught him a fucking lesson. Fortunately, I don't think he's going to learn the lesson. But, you know, one thing's for sure. His Gucci man purse or his Armani man purse is gone. It's been taken, and they're selling it on eBay.
There it is. This is real, ladies and gentlemen. This is not fake. I thought it was fake the whole time because it literally says in the description in Portuguese, found, not stolen. And then on Kiwi Farms, they were like, you'll see the strap and how long it was compared to the photos that he was wearing it. And now they're like in talks with the police to find the guy who's selling it, who found it. Like, here it is for 300 euro. And then he auctioned it.
I don't know about that.
The seller auctioned it. Holy dude, this you can't write. This is poetry. You know, meme magic. We made fun of Baked Alaska for his book Meme Magic, but I'm starting to believe it. You know what I mean? At this point, I can't argue it anymore. Meme magic is real. Holy!
It's like the best week ever, bro. It's honestly amazing. Now, Ralph was talking about how he chased these assailants down. Now, a lot of people have doubted the credibility of that because, like, Ralph's a fat motherfucker. But you know what? We can actually see Ralph running. Andy, do you remember you were witness to the foot race between him and Failure? It's actually in the folder, Andy. You can pull it up.
Oh, do you have it? You have it?
Yeah, it's in the folder. We can see the race between Ralph and...
I'd like to feel a dick inside me.
Failure and see if he had the speed to chase down these muggers.
I think everyone who's donating, I promise will read those, man. The winnings are big here. The winnings are big here. And look at me. While I was recovering off coke here, the old Andy, I look weird here. Oh, my God. Look at this. Wow. I'm
Looks
sickly.
like a different person.
I'm sickly here. Holy shit, dude. There we go. Okay. On 1. My voice? What the hell? On 1. 3, 2, 1. Failure.
Hey, Ralph.
Oh, no, look at
I've been a fan.
Wait, did you see that? Look at this. Hang on, I'm gonna make a sound effect here. Ready?
Hey, Ralph. I've been a fan for a while. Also, when did Sidon get there?
I don't think he was chasing down the muggers.
Hey, Captain Weave. I'm a fucking druggie here. Holy shit. I'm Hey, Captain Weave here. He told him we can buy more coke. Thank God I'm off that stuff. Anyway, as you can see in that foot race, beating Failure is not really like it's not really a thing to brag about. You know what I mean? It's not.
Oh, Failure is about as fat as I am, for f***'s sick. Like, you know, Ralph's like, I beat failure by like 2 seconds. Like, okay, buddy, you know? Holy shit. Let's pull up this picture of Ralph. This is what he looks like today after surgery. And
he put himself next to Ryan Gosling. Did you see that? Like from that Blade Runner movie?
No, it was Only God Forgives, right? It was the Only God Forgives photo. But like he looks here like a fucking like PS2 render. No, he doesn't even look like a real fucking person. He looks like he's made of fucking Play-Doh or something. His whole face is so fucking swollen.
He's a Tim Burton character. This is a Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas character.
What a fucking nightmare, bro.
Wow.
Nightmare of Lisbon, dude. This guy'll never be the same, man. Like, let's get real. He's probably gonna have tinnitus. He's probably going to have issues concentrating and focusing. He might have issues with his speech going forward. He may have serious issues with his vision. And not only that, but we saw today they're prescribing him Valium in the hospital.
He's pumped, by the way. I own the A-Logs. I got Valium.
Yeah. Well, guess what, man? You're going to end up as the next Chief Donga tribe.
Oh,
Chief Donga of the pills. Where you're just total dead air, total low energy, even beyond what the Tequila Sunrise or Killstream has been lately. He's gonna end up like Donga in a wheelchair, popping pills all day with no viewership and just a total disaster, man. That's where his life is heading. He'll never be the same.
May I bring up one tweet here that I had clipped here from my Twitter? Hang on. I'll read it to you guys because I don't want to like change the screen around. He goes, I've been in this game. Okay, actually, you read it. You read it.
All right. I've been in this game a long time, lol. I fully realized many would celebrate. It just proves everything I've ever said about them correct. I don't try to moralize. They do. And they're all fake as fuck.
There was a tweet he did like a few weeks ago that says, I go to sleep at night dreaming about my enemies being harmed.
Yeah. Now just think about it. Now he's saying, I don't moralize. Well, what was his tweets crying about Jesse showing up at his house then? Was that not moralizing? What about when he cried about, like, oh, Sinead, da da da, all the bullshit about Sinead? Was that moralizing?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
What?
It's like, dude,
he's just full of shit. And because people are making fun of him for getting beat up, when he would do the same to just about anybody else.
He dreams about it.
He dreams, but he fantasizes about his enemies getting fucked up. He's wrote articles where he's like, I hope my enemies end up in the gutter, homeless, penniless, suffering, freezing to death. And this man's gonna tell you, if you celebrate it, it's immoral.
You know what I mean?
He's moralizing in the same breath when he says he doesn't moralize. It's just.
He was I saw on Kiwi Farms by Gamer Girl. It says, "Yep, the guy with the fedora and the fanny pack, both eyes, all right." And Porcelain did a very similar one. Is it done? Like, absolutely.
People doubted that you were the El Chapo of fucking Portugal, Andy. They fucking doubted it, bro. But you were. You were on the fucking line. I'm giving the hit, you know?
You know,
I
have to tweet this, by the way, too. Just a picture of me smiling, like, just laughing. You know, I had to. Everyone's like, there's people, why aren't you being the bigger man? Have you been missing what's been going on? Like, shut the fuck up. But very funny. However, Ashton, before we read donos here, when I looked at this new picture, right, I was inspired. Let me reopen it here for all you. So I looked at this, right, and I was like, there's only one thing I could think of, is I hurt myself today. And I thought, you know what? It's time to make a song. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kino Casino brings you not only laughs, but musical interludes. This is called Pork Chop Hurt. Enjoy. I hurt myself today. The Portuguese hate me. Left my pregnant fiance at home. The Portuguese broke my orbital bone. I sit alone and sing and eat my Burger King. They made my face look worse, and then they stole my purse. What have I become? A pile of shit. Every friend I make, I take a match and burn the bridge. And you could have it all. Kill stream is dirt. I met the Portuguese. They made me hurt. The Portuguese showed their scorn. They harvested the corn. I thought they were nice folk. I just wanted some coke. Now I'm stuck inside this cage as I become enraged. Wanted a hooker who was underage. What have I become? A pile of shit. Every friend I make, I take a match and burn the bridge. And you could have it all. Kill stream is dirt. I met the Portuguese and they made me hurt. If I could start again, I'd shut my mouth. But now look at me. The Portuguese broke my pig snout. The trip wasn't fun, but I'll lie and say I won. What have I become? Okay, guys, we hope you enjoyed. We'd like to do a show here, a real show, song and dance for all you guys. We hope you enjoyed that. That's called Pork Chop Hurt.